Back with another brand video. This time we've got North Sails. We spoke to him last year. The video went down pretty well. Obviously, new technology, a familiar face at the top of the brand. Actually, maybe have you moved up in the brand now, Mr. Peter?
Yeah, mate, I became brand manager. Who would have thought that would ever happen?
There you go. He's always been around, but now he is in the brand manager role. How's it been going? Like, obviously, we saw you last year. We got told you're the fastest speaker on the brand videos. So you have to slow down.
Yeah, if there was a GPS speaker surfing, then I would be fucking winning that thing, man.
Everyone was like, he's faster than Ben. No, but good. All good in the house, in the North Sails. I've seen a few new products around. We're going to talk about those. Yeah, I think we just go straight into it.
Yeah?
I think we go straight into it because I've been ribbing him for a bit. They've got a new race sail, which we're about to talk about. Tell me through the features. Talk me through the features of the new race sail. What's changed? What's happened?
No, the features are not that different than what we had last year. It's still a 3DI molded skin. We still feature the air cam. The finishing details are pretty much the same. Even the sail, as to the normal eye, might actually look quite similar. But what we have is a completely new fiber layout.
Okay.
We've developed it already partially on the free speed, but every evolution of sail we do, we learn about how we can manipulate the fiber layout to optimize the stability, to optimize the performance. And what this fiber layout does, it actually helps to bend the mast. So you have to imagine that when you have a bow and arrow, the more you pull the string back, the easier the bow bends, right?
Yes.
So we have a load path that actually passes in the opposite curve towards the middle of or just above the center of the mast, which helps to bend the mast. It helps to open the mid-leach a lot.
Okay.
And that opening is quite dynamic. So you get, when you are in a lull, for example, you have a little bit of mid-lead tension that keeps you with some grunt. But as soon as the wind hits you, the sail will bend and the mid-leads will open and will allow you to accelerate to the maximum. So for us, it's all about fiber layout. Fiber layout, we can make. Last year we did a test. I think I told you about it during the DefiWind. Last year we made 3 6.0s with 3 completely different layouts. Same loft curve, same outload, same batten spacing, position, same battens, etc. Sails feel completely different. So for us, the difference is really the magic is in the layout. That's where the sauce is.
And obviously, maybe people don't know. I surely would hope people do now. But you are doing something totally different. And for the guys who don't know, we need to explain that. It's a molded sail.
Yeah, so
you're the only guys doing a molded sail.
We're the only ones that can do it. We're using a North Sails technology, which came down from America's Cup, Volvo Ocean Racing, all the big yacht racing. And it's pretty much, we are taping a single skin, so it's a single piece of material that then gets molded, it gets cooked into shape, so it shrinks onto the mold. And we can mold on the racing sail, for example, we are even molding the sleeve as a single piece. There's zero stitching, there's zero tolerance, because every sail that comes off the mold has exactly the same shape. Then the outline gets drawn. The sail gets finished with windows. Obviously, we need windows. Those aren't molded in, those are sewn in.
Yeah.
We're choosing to not do any printing in the window. So if ever you have a damage, any sailmaker can replace the window for a regular piece of monofilm. And that's how we make a really, really unique product. So it's all the reinforcements. The sail goes from thick in the tack, where you have a lot of tension, to really thin in the leach without any interruption, without any stitching, without anything. It's all staggering layers of fiber on top of each other.
It does look sick. Like I've obviously been doing a lot of commentary, and you've had a few foil team riders. But the question is, who is going to be using this? Because this is the Finn racing sail.
Yeah.
Are we going to be seeing, Super X team riders? Are we going to see anyone this year? Anyone new? Any plans for next year? What's your... Because I have been winding him up. I want to see, one of the big boys, let's say. I want to see him using this.
Yeah, me too. I want to as well. Obviously, putting a sail on the race course or on the speed course is an ultimate testimony to performance. So you need to have a team rider, or you need to have a big name pushing the product. For the moment, our focus has been on product development. Yeah. Really pushing the product to the limit. We feel like this product is actually worthy of sending it out on the speed course and on the race course. This sail is actually a 2026 sail, so it's not out in numbers this year. We have a very limited production run that we've done.
Okay.
But actually it's coming out onto the market in August, September.
Okay.
And we are looking for a team rider for next year. We're not sure if we are deciding to go the PWA route and go into the Slalom X, which is for me kind of limited exposure, or if we need to do something in the speed sailing scene and create a story there, which could be really, really cool. So
he said the magic word, speed. This has been my focus for this whole event. I've been winding everyone up going, speed, GPS speed. That's where it's kind of, I feel like that's where there's a bit of energy there. Like I said,
I think there's a lot of different brands now. Like you have Patrick who's pushing.
Yeah.
Obviously, New Pride's always been there. Duotone is pushing a little bit. Severn guys are absolutely hammering it. It would be so fun to get into that mix and like try to, let's see if we can burn some brands.
I like it. Let me know in the comments. Do you want to see that rivalry boosted up a bit, or do you not like the rivalry? Is everyone should be happy families? I like the rivalry.
We can have a happy
Yeah,
rivalry. I remember racing. We were like beating each other up on the race course, and in the evening we were having a beer together. You know, like that's the best rivalry you can get, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, there'll be a few young guys that don't know. Pete, top racer back in the day, still probably got a bit of magic.
Yeah, I got some speed, but I don't spend enough time on the water. I try to stay fit, but yeah, only so much time.
I have heard he might be going to the Portuguese National Slalom Championship.
Not a rumor, it's a fact.
It's a fact. Viana de Castelo, I think end of
June. Yeah.
End of June. And there is a rumor someone else might be going. We don't know yet, but it could be pretty interesting because you've obviously got a centre there as well with Field Viana, the hotel. Yeah. Pretty sure you're doing the North Sails there.
Yeah, we're doing the North Sails there. I mean those guys talking about molded sails and durability.
Yeah.
They had some different brands in the center before. It was a Club North.
Yeah.
We opened Club North. Obviously, they're all fully on North. They have North Wing, North Guides, and all 3DI North windsurfing sails. And for them, it's like, man, after a year, the sails are actually sellable still.
Okay.
Sails are durable. They don't wear in the sun exposure. They are super stoked. We just did a bunch of sails to Surabaya Beach as well.
Yeah.
I spoke to the guys yesterday. They're like, they charge extra money for people to use the North there because it's a premium product. He's like, everybody comes off the water stoked, want to buy the product and everything. So the testimony to how it works, that's there.
Well, funny you should say that because let's link that to what sales are they having in these test centres? Because I'm guessing they haven't got the race sale.
No, they haven't got. Actually, at Surabaya Beach, they got 2 racing sales.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think they got like 8 or 9 free speeds.
So I think we looked at this one. Is this the one we looked at last year?
Yeah, we had this one here. We had this one last year, but we had it upright because we had the racing sail, or actually we had a foil sail sitting here because we thought, okay, it's a Defi, it's all about performance. But this year we decided to put the free speed as the centerpiece because it is, first of all, our best seller, and second of all, it's the sail that everybody should have. Yeah. If you're, I believe you are actually talking about cams, no cams, whatever. Yeah. If you're just a weekend warrior, you still want to go fast, you still have that drive to go past people, but you also want to have a sail that's super easy. This thing absolutely smokes, no cam.
Because you look at it like this. Tell me, honestly, you're watching this video, tell me that looks like a no cam sail.
Yeah, the cool thing is that you can see, that's the unique thing on the 3D shaped sails, right? The surf, look how 3-dimensional the surface is just in this area. I don't know if it's easy to actually film what you see here in real life, but the way the sail cups out to the bottom here and how it flows into a really nice deep front-oriented profile, because the sail, it's actually, even in the strong puffs, this sail holds the shape really, really well. And you can see the super front-oriented profile here, but also a leech that just drops off almost like a racing sail.
Yeah.
The cool thing with the 3DI fabric is that it's not monofilm. Like the monofilm sails, the way they inflate, it's kind of direct, and there's a certain amount of resistance to it. Where the 3DI feels more like a fabric, so it actually inflates really easily. As soon as the wind hits it, the inflation is gentle. But because we use some really high-end fiber like carbon, aramid, Dyneema, polyester in the sails, as soon as the sail fills up, then it has tension, it's rock solid. So you get this really nice, almost cloth feeling sail, but then super stable.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like such a. It looks like a super nice thing.
And we can see no. I mean, there's no cams here. You know, like there's nothing here.
Yeah, that's super interesting. People are always talking about GPS speeds. Like we're doing quite a lot of stuff with water speed. So GPS speeds. Done my speeds on this?
I have not.
Okay.
Testing it. We actually tested it on the same days as we test the slalom gear.
Yeah.
And if I'm on this sail, like the guy that I'm testing with, he's pretty quick. I can keep up with him.
Yeah, so that's a good testament.
So yeah. So I think we got to take it out on the speed course and post some GPS speeds on this thing. I think we'll do that in the next couple of weeks if we get some good wind.
Again, I'm pushing it a bit. Obviously, we've got partnership with Water Speed, but I've done that partnership because I genuinely think we need to pay more attention to it because numbers are always interesting.
Yeah, I've been using the Water Speed app for years, mate.
Yeah.
I think I'm 3 years member.
There you go.
So
he's on it. He's on it. Obviously, I'm looking at the pictures in the background. Is that Miguel Chapuis?
That's Miguel Chapuis, yeah. He's one of our team riders. He's riding the new crossover right there, which is one of the products we just released, I think 2 weeks ago it came online.
Yeah.
Miguel's...
You've got that here?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it all. Because I know the guys, a lot of them, this is their one chance to really check out the ranges, you know, hear from the shoes upon a horse's mouth here.
Yeah.
So this is what he's using. I thought the crossover, that is a wave sail. That's
Well,
how you defining it.
We are trying to have a really slim product line, right? We try to have a minimum amount of products in the line, but the maximum amount of coverage. And actually making a power wave sail, which is the crossover in the small sizes, 3.7 up to 5.4, it's a proper power wave sail. But it has so much overlap with a sail, with a bump and jump sail, that like, why not make it one sail, right?
Yeah.
All you need to do is make the foot slightly higher. It doesn't really compromise the bump and jump performance, but it helps you in the waves, you know. Miguel actually prefers this sail in the onshore kind of conditions. So he's using the wave and the crossover.
Yes.
But he likes the stability. It has a bit more speed than the wave sail. So when you get onshore, like for example in Pozo, it's all about speed, getting up the ramp and then getting some lift in the air. This thing has a bit more lift, a bit more speed. So for jumps, it took him a little bit of time to get used to the rotation, because the rotation on the sail, we have so little weight in the top and such a nice leech. We are doing the same thing as what we do on the racing sail with the load path.
Yes.
So when you sheet the sail in, the leech actually opens and it kind of like slingshots you into the rotation.
Okay.
It actually took him some time to control. He's really pushing
I
his
was
doubles.
about to say his doubles, they
Yeah.
went turbo at one point.
Yeah.
And then he started just going bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang.
Yeah, you said it took him some time with these sails to get the rotation, but he's really enjoying the like almost like you get that like projected into it.
Yeah.
So, but it took a little time to get used to it, but he loves the sail. What's new compared to the last year? That's going to be the next question.
Yeah.
So the previous one was the black one. It was our first generation crossover. This is a second generation crossover. The main thing we worked on is to get a bit more upper end. The previous sail was really nice, it was powerful, planing super quickly, going upwind really nicely. It was really nice in the waves. But as soon as the wind started to pick up, it felt like the sail was blowing up a little bit too much and a little hard to control. So that's something we've completely fixed without actually compromising the lower end. So the shaping in the bottom became a little bit deeper. The release in the mid leech is a little bit more accentuated, so there's a bit more release.
Yeah.
And it just gives you that same power. The delivery is a bit smoother. What's funny is when you get it on the board, you don't actually feel the wind so much, but it just starts to gently push you forward, gets you planing kind of effortlessly, which is what you want on a bump and jump sail, or a wave sail as well, actually.
Yeah.
And then in the upper end, it's super controllable, so you can actually ride the sail overpowered and still have really nice control. So that's the main things that are different on this.
So, like, I mean, I honestly think the sails look epic. I really like that look. Where can people try them? Obviously, we just talked about Field Viana. Any other sectors?
There's Field Viana, there's Sorobon Beach. They have some crossovers as well. Okay. They don't have the new ones yet. I just talked to them about it yesterday. They're probably going to order some shortly. We are working on a deal with Harco, Tenerife. That's coming along a bit slowly. So Harco, get off your ass and make it happen, mate. And where else? We're opening a few more Club Nords worldwide. We just opened one in Riyadh in Egypt.
Okay.
Which currently they're in the process of implementing windsurfing. So for the moment it's wing and kite, but they're implementing a windsurfing part in there as well.
Yeah.
And then we have some Club Nords opening around the world. So the Club North for us is going to be a part of our business to help bring sails on the water, get people to experience the 3DI. Because what we're getting from a place like Field Viana or yesterday, like we heard from Sorobon Beach, it's like those guys, like anyone who comes back is just blown away by the performance, the feel of the sail.
When you've got something
exactly.
new, because it is new, and I think some people are maybe hesitant because it's new.
Very.
You know, they know what they like or they already like, so you have to get them on it, I guess.
Yeah. I spoke to a lot of centers in autumn time last year because we have some overstock of the black crossover and we are giving them an opportunity to get in without the investment. And it's like, yeah, but it's still expensive and we don't know if it's like, yeah, but you got to try it, man. Yeah. Like any center that has tried it is like, oh crap, this is like, it's sure, we pay more money, but at the end of the year we have less repairs, less downtime of the product, and our customers fucking love it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the main thing, I guess. That's what you've got to look for. Looking around, anything else we need to cover? Anything interesting for the people at home? What do you want to see?
Yeah, what do you want to see? I don't know.
What we got? Look.
I mean, we can go back to our mast. We did the story on the mast on last year.
I think it's interesting.
I think our mast, it's unbelievable in this industry, you know, what you get.
Yeah.
So let me pull one out. I don't know if you can see the way the masts are spun, but what is unique, we're the only ones doing this in the windsurfing industry. We are making these masts out of a single toe of carbon fiber, which means we're wrapping a toe of carbon fiber computer controlled around the mandrel. So you have to imagine there's a mandrel that's spinning like this, and there's a toe head which is passing a fiber onto the mandrel, and by speeding up or slowing down the toe head, we're able to change the angle of the fiber in different areas of the mast, which allows you to make softer or stiffer sections of the mast without interrupting the fiber, which is completely unique because you imagine a normal mast is hand rolled. When you want a softer section, you cut the fiber, and above where you cut the fiber, the mast is softer. But also the wall thickness gets reduced. Where actually by changing the angle of the fiber, the mast gets softer, but the wall thickness increases. So where the mast bends more, there's also more material.
Okay.
So making the mast more durable on the areas where there's more flexibility,
Okay.
which is in the end is key. So there's no breaking points, there's no interrupted fibers in the mast, ensuring maximum durability and a really unique bend curve because there's no hard transition of starting and stopping fibers. You know, the angle changes gradually throughout the mast. So the way these masts bends, even though we have similar bend curves as a Neil Pride or a Severn or Duotone, the bend curve might be similar, but the way we achieve the bend curve is completely different. And the mast really bends from the top down.
And consistency, you get more consistency?
Much more consistency because every mast is pretty much, I mean,
exactly the same.
Our manufacturer says, and also from testing the mast, there's a 5% tolerance in the material.
Okay.
And he says you can add 2% for manufacturing. That's about it. And the 5% in material is the same for any carbon fiber, like at the quality we buy it at least for windsurfing. And the
2% is low.
Yes. And then, for example, at the ferrule, normally in the mast you have a really stiff section. We are doing all integrated ferrule, so this is not a glued piece.
Okay.
This actually transitions in this much, and internally we are changing the fibers into a really steep angle towards the mandrel to soften up the ferrule, because normally you have a really stiff section, and then the mast ends up doing all the bending just below the ferrule because you have a stiff section. As we are really changing the fiber angle in this area, the ferrule actually starts to become more or less bending as a single piece from the top down in the mast. So, and then they machine it. I mean, these masts are built in Australia. It's a really high-end facility, right?
Yeah.
So the machining, we have the other unique thing. We have a conical mandrel. Normal mandrels are parallel, which means when you slide the mast on and you get some sand in there, it will never come off. These ones are slightly tapered, so as soon as you release the top, it's completely free and it comes off. But for machining,
that is one of the most unanswered questions. Why does my mast get stuck?
Yeah,
together, you know?
well, these ones are hard to get stuck. You see this top belongs to that base, because you can see actually. First of all, there's a foam piece in here, which is a sand stopper. So it cleans the mast on the inside, and it also makes sure that any sand that might be in your top doesn't end up in between your ferrule and your mast, because that's what actually gets the mast stuck. And then here, you can see there's still a lot of play.
Yes.
Even here, there's still a lot of play. But then when you come to the end, there's absolutely zero play. Like it doesn't even wiggle the tiniest little bit. As soon as you release it, you have space.
Okay.
And then together with the little sand stopper, it stops your mast.
That alone could be the unique selling point.
Yeah. And then, stay there. What gets the mast stuck? If that's a
carbon dust.
Yeah, a question that people have. No, it's the sand that sits above your ferrule.
Okay.
And when you're sailing, you have to imagine your mast is bending. So constantly there's a gap opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing. The sand just slowly works its way down in there, completely cements the mast.
Yes.
Done. Stuck.
Done. Exactly.
So,
I've been there. Who's been there?
So keeping them clean really helps.
Yeah.
Getting a rubber plug like this in there really helps. Some people swear that putting a piece of tape around it helps. I don't think that does anything, because no sand is going to come in from the outside. It all comes in from the inside.
The top, do not have an open top.
That's the worst.
This is me all over. I'm like, I've got a little bit, I'll be all right.
Yeah, no, you get a little bit of sand in there. You're sailing for half an hour. The mast is doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
All the sand's in there, done.
It's a disaster.
Yeah,
it's a disaster.
Disaster.
And also, they look quite funky. What's going on with those extensions? Is that like a...
Yeah, the cool thing was when we started the whole North project, we didn't have a parts bin to choose from, so we got to create completely unique pieces. So we actually make a wave extension without any moving parts. You might say, there's no pulley there. This material is a POM material, which is really low friction. So you don't need a pulley, because a pulley in the end gets stuck.
So that's just a loop go.
There's a loop and go. And then on our sails, we have 2 loops as well. So if you use it on the North sail, you actually keep it like this and you just throw this around the sail.
Yeah.
But let's say you wanted to use it on your simmer, you can take this, pass it through the pulley, and then you just loop and go like that.
Okay.
And then usually I keep my loop on here, put my hand through the loop.
Yeah.
I can rig a sail in, I don't know, 50,
it's quick, isn't it?
50 seconds.
I've heard some people saying, but windsurfing, you got to rig up. I'm looking at these guys with the wings and the foils. I'm thinking, actually,
Before they get the pump from the car, I'm already rigged up,
I
mate.
was gonna
Like,
say, it's
no
not
worries.
hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Windsurfing is actually relatively quick.
Yeah,
these
it's
days,
super
pretty
quick. So, but the cool thing was we got to create this unique feel how light that is.
Oh, that is light. That's alloy, is it?
No, it's carbon.
Is
The alloy one we screwed down.
I'm blind these
Yeah.
days. I was thinking,
No, but we don't put like normally they put if you have an R carbon extension, you put a 3K carbon on the outside to make it look like
Okay.
carbon fiber. This is fully unidirectional.
okay,
So actually we only have functional fiber in there. No, nothing for the eye.
okay,
Purely function.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the idea that we had. Then we have the same for the MDM extension. Obviously we have the MDM mast. That's another unique thing about our mast. I think a few brands are actually following now.
Well, maybe people need to know about that. So obviously, STM, standard diameter,
Yeah.
RDM, reduced
Yeah,
diameter,
MDM, medium diameter, yeah, medium diameter,
Okay.
middle, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to know the story behind that?
I do.
Okay,
generally do.
little technical talk about that. So SDM was pretty much invented because back in the day we had epoxy or glass or aluminum mast, right? And aluminum or glass has a lot lower stiffness than carbon fiber, lower modulus as you call it, and it has 52 millimeters of diameter to be able to get the stiffness you need and the response you need from the sail to give performance back in when was that, the 80s?
Yes, because if it was,
I'm sure you still had the Weichhardt aluminum pole.
I've still got plenty of old masts. I had Rothko wave masts, the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
alloy
yeah.
Imco mast, which ended up about this big. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
an
exactly.
amazing thing.
So then we changed to carbon fiber, and in the beginning, the grade of carbon fiber was relatively low. So let's say the modulus wasn't much higher than an aluminum or a glass fiber, so we could still get away with the 52 millimeters. Over the years, the carbon fiber has progressed so far, like with the T800, T900, whatever you want to call these fibers that we are using Mitsubishi fibers only, but that the modulus of the fiber became so high that actually the 52 millimeter mast is actually too big of a diameter to be able to build a mast that is still durable enough. So you can build the right stiffness, but then you get such a thin wall thickness that the mast fails on the compression. So what you need to do, you need to start adding glass or material at a different angle to the mast to be able to hold the compression. So you're actually adding bulk where you don't need it. So we were like, okay, we've got no parts bin to choose from. We don't have the, let's say the inherited 52 millimeter thing. Let's go MDM, because what you can do is by reducing the mast by 10 millimeters in diameter, you reduce the circumference by 30 millimeters, which is huge. And you can actually make a mast which has you can use the fibers pretty much optimal. And still maintain a wall thickness of about 2.2 millimeters, which is the minimum wall thickness that I feel comfortable with in a mast, on a racing mast, to be able to have the durability and still use or not add any bulk. So basically, by reducing the diameter, you're loading the material a little bit less heavily. It makes you need to use a little bit more material to get the right stiffness, but also right away you get the right durability. So we can build a mast that's actually has the same response, same reflex. It's the same weight as the lightest mast on the market, but with zero breakage. Like I reviewed the warranties. I think in total over the last 3 years, we've sold, I think 600 MDM masts. We have, I think, 2 broken returns up to now.
So the MDM, because I don't know. My brain is like thinking, is it Slate? Was he doing this straight?
So the factory that was building Slake, it's not actually Slake that was producing their own mast. They were building them in a factory in Australia, which is building 49er mast. They're building a bunch of different.
Because they were winning quite a bit of stuff. I remember there was a few years ago now. But I remember someone saying, they're all using this mast.
It's because
MDM.
And it was an MDM, and it's the only reason they were using that is because it was holding up. You can leave those, like leaving a sail in the sun here. I don't even need to think about it twice. We only do 100% carbon mast, nothing else. But like I feel 100% comfortable leaving it there. So the way the masts are produced, the MDM in combination with the MDM diameter that we have, bomb-proof.
And can you get like an adapter for skinny extensions to go in MDM, or you have to buy an MDM?
You have to buy an MDM. I felt like we should do an adapter for an RDM, but then you need to have an RDM extension with multiple pulleys. So for our own extension, it doesn't work, and in the end, we're interested in selling our. Our philosophy is when you do it, you do it right, and the only right way is to use an MDM extension. So then you get this, and again. A unique piece, we didn't have a parts bin to choose from, so we had to design this thing from the ground up. Super lightweight. We use like a big bushing here, so it's all open. Some simple, really big rollers. Normally when you use big rollers, you add a lot of weight, but it was an easy way to shave some weight. So we have a really nice big open open platform right there.
Interesting.
And then, yeah, we go for, let's say, a 4-to-1. So we have 4 pulleys on the sail, 3 pulleys on the extension. Allows you to just crank it down along pretty easily. Yeah.
Nice. Well, there you go. That's it. I like that. I'm sure. Let me know if you found that interesting. MDM. Has anyone out there got MDM mast?
And then, yeah.
Oh, what we got? We got more.
We got some booms, but we talked about this last year.
We got more. Now let's have a
I
look.
think what you see in our industry is that a lot of the brands actually have let's say, like, want to call it a generic boom. They they buy a boom, they put their grip, they put some of their parts on it, but in the end the booms are all from the same manufacturer actually. What we do is a 100% unique piece. We have a different size tooling for every size boom, so we don't share the 140 or the 150 or the 160. Don't share the same tooling. So we have a 135. Is slightly narrower at the tail. It has a slightly slimmer body because the 3.3, a 3.7, a 4.2 have less profile depth, so you can get away with a little bit of a narrower boom. Then the 150 is slightly wider, 160 is wider again. The 165 is already a small racing boom, specialized for foil, because foil we have quite a high aspect ratio, so we need kind of a small boom with some depth. It already has the tapered tube, so you have a little bit extra stiffness in the back. And then you have a 180, which is a full-blown racing boom with an integrated outhole system with a relatively thick.
I do like the integrated outhole system. If
It
you've
looks
never
like-
raced, even if you're just blasting around, it's so nice to have it. But
Yeah.
without the big blooming buckle here and the,
Yeah, or getting tangled in the ropes.
Yeah,
Or having the
exactly.
ropes tangled in the van, even worse.
yeah.
You pull out one boom, all your booms come out.
That's neat. That's
Yeah. So, and then this year we actually we needed to put our new logo on the boom. So we decided, okay, let's review the booms and see what we can do better. So on the racing boom, we managed to shave 160 grams off the tail by simply implementing some foam inside the lamination. So this tail is and at the back of the boom, 160 grams. Believe me, you're gonna feel that. So that's a big difference. We did a few updates on the head, which we had a few minor issues, but if you redo it, we want perfection.
Yeah.
We're only interested in perfection. So we made a few small updates on the head to make sure that we can get the maximum performance out of these booms.
Oh, it's
So
cool, man.
yeah,
It looks slick. Looks slick.
yeah.
And
Light,
what
stiff.
diameter are the tubes, you say?
On the 180, I believe you have 24. Then the 165, you have 23, and then on the wave booms you have a 22 millimeter.
Bloody
So pretty thin. The wave booms I don't like them super thin. Like you have the super slim booms out there.
Yeah.
Some people really like it. If you do that, I feel like then you need to have 2 different booms, because you need to have the slim for the people that like slim.
My little
And-
tiny little pinky.
Yeah, these are slightly thicker than the slim, but for me it's it's right in between the slim and the normal diameter. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
And you get a little bit more stiffness, a little bit thicker tube. You get the boom becomes a little bit more robust. That's how
it, man.
Yeah. So yeah, killing it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Peter.
Oh, my pleasure, mate. My pleasure.
If you enjoyed that, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you for the next one. So if you like that video, we have plenty more like that from other brands. We've even got this one up here, or even this one up here. Subscribe to the channel. And if you do like what we're doing on Windsurfing TV, you can also chip in some beers.